mean, I said, if you're talking about money or, real estate and all that, I've done it all. Been there, done that.
Do you believe you're intuitive, aside from this so-called connection you say you're getting from the Pleiadians?
Look, I try to I'm always in contact with my friends that are inside of what's going to be happening. It's not intuitive. They always know what the next step's going to be, because these plans are all set into motion. Whether or not they get taken into effect, it's like the war in the Middle East. I mean, they've been trying to get that thing going big time for 2 years. Yeah, the Plan 2000 specifically says that. But they haven't got it going big enough yet. But just keep watching the next few months.
Will human mind power eventually win out over evil?
Well, that's what you and I are all about tonight. Hopefully that was what the extraterrestrials I'm in contact are involved with. If we will take on the job of changing the ending of the story that's written for us, or are we going to lay down and be a victim like we've always been?
Can we change the ending, George?
It's going to be different. I don't know if they can or not. It doesn't look good. That's exactly. In fact, the extraterrestrials say the same thing. They're urging. My last message is, which I don't give to everybody, is basically urging people that awaken to what might have been, get together and support each other in the days ahead, because things are going to get really chaotic.
Have you come across bad extraterrestrials, evil type, or are they all pretty spiritual, pretty good? You brought that up as a very incidental coincidence yesterday, 2 days ago. I came across some people that are totally engulfed with evil. We have to go back to some of the information, and more profound that we probably are not going to talk about on the radio tonight, but when I started investigating the spiritual nature of man, they gave me the spiritual laws. Who's they?
Emmanuel. The energy is called Christ. Said, I wanted my messages to be really put out there, what I was trying to teach. It says, through my messages, you're going to find a way, but not through him. He said, I'm tired of taking the blame for everything. When they talk about, the Antichrist and all these things, he says, none of this stuff is anti-spirit. What's against your spirit? Anyway, when you bring a person into power, it's like when Kissinger, we used to talk about all that stuff. Actually, John King was the best instructor I had. I was one of his officers of one of his companies. You ever heard of King Resources?
Yeah.
He's the first oil billionaire. Well, John was the absolute epitome of power and greed and all the things that you need. That is the epitome at that point of evil. Basically controlling the physical dimension without being any consideration of the rest of mankind. I mean, just give me all you got. All of my game is money.
That's greed, isn't it? Or I guess greed is evil.
Greed and power, both. I mean, I just saw it all. I really did. And it just turned me upside down, because that isn't what mankind's all about. I mean, we like to know what the rule book is. And so Emmanuel gave us the rules. It's like the so-called Ten Commandments. Two of them are my favorites that they changed them. The old one that's written like in Exodus 10, it says, or Exodus 20, it says, thou shalt not kill. The real one is, thou shalt not murder thy fellow man in thought or deed. Interesting?
Very interesting.
And another one...
I'm going to start calling you a prophet.
No, I'm not going to.
From here on in.
No, I'm kind of in line like Billy. Billy was given a job to take the most and the best photographs, and give out his information. And he's done what he could because he just didn't have it.
By the way, I want to know, did you ever win that lawsuit from those people in Phoenix?
Yeah. No, well, what's a win?
Well, you get your money back.
No, I got what I did. Frankly, I got $10,000 and 1,000 of the books. Does that make a lot of sense? I mean, they printed 5,000 of them. So basically, I got some of my cash, and I got the other ones. If I sold them, I might have got my money back. Let's put it that way.
Were they any good books?
Oh, yeah. You go get on Amazon right now. They're going for like $200 a piece. They're beautiful books. I mean, they did
200. What's it called?
Contact from the Pleiades. I actually have. I have a whole set I'm thinking about putting together of about, picture books, about 200 pages of huge spacecraft from all over the planet.
Are you still in touch with Billy?
I haven't I haven't contacted him for a few years. No,
he's got.
I have friends go over there, and I tell him say hello. But I'm through with that job. He's still over there. He's doing his thing, and I do have one of his books. Guido just finished a book, Musburger. He's been with him for 25 years, and he has a book called "And Yet They Fly." Well, and still they fly. The old one sold out. The new ones will be delivered in a couple of weeks. But it gives you the entire story with lots of pictures and all kinds of things of the Billy Meyer story. I have it up on my website, but I don't have the books in. They won't be in for a couple of weeks.
Have these encounters, George, changed your life?
Of course. I'm no longer interested in, building. I'll tell you what. Bill Levitt and I sat around the Beverly Hills Hotel one day at the swimming pool. Bill Levitt was Levittown, Pennsylvania, and Levittown, New York. And we're discussing building whole cities and stuff. And the first thing it reminded me of, don't put your name on them, like he did. Because you could be a contact of all that. If I'm going to build something, use it under some corporation, some other head, something else, and take the same information that the world leaders do. Put somebody else out in front. Let them be.
It's like Potter's Field from
String them up. Because no matter what they do, they're controlled. I don't care where they are around the planet. The only wild card, frankly, that I found out is China.
Why?
Well, you got 1.3 billion people over there, and I went around China with some of the government people.
You like the Chinese people in general?
Yeah, but, you have to understand with 1 billion, 4 times or almost 5 times our population, and the Yangtze River is, as you know, the river isn't even going into the ocean right now. It's kind of like what's going on in Australia.
They've got some problems there, don't they?
Well, we have some problems. And they are the largest creditor nation in the world. We're the largest debtor nation in the world. Yep. And they've been artificially keeping their currency low. And the Japanese own about 20% of our debt. And right now, foreign governments are buying our bonds to sustain our country as a consumer society. But we're consuming foreign products.
But then we turn around and give them back the money.
Well, we don't. It doesn't work exactly that way. How are you giving them back what?
Well, in terms of financial aid and things like that, aren't we helping out everybody?
Well, we're creating a fiat currency, which puts you and I farther in debt if we use the dollar as a basis. Most of my investment buddies that are looking at the collapse of the dollar. I'm very concerned about the dollar, and I'm totally out of the stock market, and I'm in the heavy metals right now, and I also. The new Patriot Act has made it so you can't have money outside of the country, without the government knowing it. It's a requirement of all foreign government institutions or banking institutions to report any deposit that Americans have in any form back to the U.S. Treasury. So they're being monitored. I have a friend in Switzerland that has money in Switzerland. He just had about $350,000 brought back over into the country, and the chemical bank stopped it in New York, because they're the ones, and he had to prove where he got the money from. They considered that he had it there for 30 years. They considered it either, drug-related.
So they stopped the transfer of the funds back here to his account.
Yeah, so he finally paid an attorney $30,000 or some doggone thing. They sent it back to Switzerland, and I got it back. I told him how to get it around. There are ways to move things around the world right now while you can, but the dollar's is getting ready for another big devaluation. The euro's it's dropped down a little bit. I mean, I think it's $1.08 right now, and it was up $1.18. But I can see us breaking down. But the euro's not much different. We just got two currencies that are going crazy. I still think that you're better off holding gold and silver right at this minute. I mean, the New World Order only mentions gold in their new accounting book. And you can buy the accounting book yourself. So it isn't anything that I have anything special. I just happen to have a copy. It's $100, and just contact the UN or the World Bank and ask them for systems and national accounting. They'll send it to you.
Welcome back to Coast. I'm George Norrie, George Green, my guest. George, your website, nohoax.com. Again, would you mention that free offer that you are giving to people and how that works for them?
Yeah, just click on the special message for you, and then that's the book. That's the forward to the book. That's not the entire book. That's only the first few pages.